Ownership of electric vehicles, or EVs, is on the rise. Many people adopting this new way of travelling. But there are still so many people that are cautious or sceptical about how it can actually work for them. So I'm here today at Arbury Nissan in Bromsgrove to speak to our resident EV expert, Rhys Chalk. I'll be asking him a variety of questions about EVs so you get the ins and outs of living life with an electric vehicle. Let's go and have a chat with him. So Rhys, how's it going? You all right?
I'm okay, Matt. Are you okay?
I'm good, I'm all good. So give everybody a little bit of a rundown, if you can, about how long you've been at Arbury and what your role is here.
So I've been at Arbury now just over 9 years. I came here to buy a second electric car and stayed, basically. I had a fair bit of knowledge at the time. Electric cars back then were still quite new to dealerships.
Yes.
And so they asked me to stay.
Brilliant.
So I've been here 9 years and work at sales here in Nissan in Bromsgrove.
Amazing stuff. So let's not beat around the bush then. Electric vehicles, the infrastructure, everybody's saying it's not ready. We're all queuing up at charge points, aren't we? What's going on there?
I think there was something, I think it was Christmas last year, when a certain manufacturer, who's very famous, who we won't mention, had people queuing up for their chargers. In all honesty, it's fair to say that infrastructure is always, we always want more, of course. It is getting better now. All of the motorway services they don't just have one now, they'll have two or three. The likes of BP are now putting chargers into every single one of their forecourts. So the infrastructure is getting better. For me, most of McDonald's have an Instavolt charger, and Burger King,
don't worry about that.
and Costa Coffee, and and that's what they do it for, because they want to go in and you to spend money with them. So it is getting better. Of course, we could always say we would like more, but having driven electric now, as I say, for over 10 years, I've never been in a situation where I've had to queue behind a car, Never really been in that situation so far.
Brilliant stuff. So I know another question on everyone's lips is obviously petrol cars, diesel cars, I can get a range of 300 plus miles out of that. EV cars just can't do that, can they?
Well, they can. And of course, again, I think the answer to a lot of questions is always going to be, it depends, because it depends on the car that you buy. But of course, electric vehicles now, we can start off with a lot smaller. Within our group, we've got Fiat, they've got the Fiat 500e, and of course, the newer Bath that you did the video on recently. Love the colour of that, by the way.
Fun car.
And we go up to the area behind us now. Our area in top range form is 329 miles WLTP, and I have an email from one of my customers and they're getting quite significantly more than that, but the area starts at a 250, goes up to 329. We've got other brands obviously within our group that have different ranges. It's better than it was.
Fair enough. Well, another thing that over Christmas, I suppose, last year and over the winter last year, electric prices, energy prices, people worrying about that. They're skyrocketing, which surely means now to fill up or charge up your electric vehicle costs more than to fill up a petrol.
It costs more than it did, but it still doesn't cost as much as the petrol. So let's split it in half here. The majority of people in the UK charge their car at home. Now, some people will have solar panels, some people won't. People that don't have solar panels generally will have an EV tariff, and they will have, several hours during the night where it's very, very low. And for a lot of people, they only need that sort of time to charge because they're maybe not using the car to its potential every day. Now, from that point of view, electric has gone up at home. Yes, it has. But when you work out how much per mile you're paying at home, as opposed to putting fuel in your car, there's still a vast difference. Where that difference is smaller, and it is smaller, there's no point in us saying it isn't, is when you are out and about charging. When I started driving electric, all the rapid chargers out there were free. I mean, that was a long time ago now. And when they started charging, if you had a monthly subscription of £7 with ChargeMaster, for example, and Ecotricity, you could charge at 11 pence per kilowatt hour, which was not bad at all. Still, still great value. That's creeped up to 50, 60p per kilowatt hour. Some of them are a little bit over, although I think they're just, people will look for cheaper ones. So it has got more expensive. Is it as expensive or more expensive than a petrol car? No, it's not. But is it as far away as it was? No, it isn't. The answer to your question is yes, the electric is getting more expensive, but we're not at that point yet.
Okay, fair enough. So charge points then, how do they work? How do I go about putting power in the EV?
Okay, so you've got several options. At the bottom of the range, if you like, you've got your 3-pin plug. So for certain people that maybe not be able to have a charger at home, if they've got a listed building, or they just haven't got the ability to have that, with a home charger, you do have to have a new consumer unit, a spare area for that to go into. Some people just don't have it, or their houses can't take it. Okay. So you can charge with a 3-pin plug. Now, with that, there is a bit of a disadvantage in that you can only charge it up to 2 kilowatts.
Right.
So if you have a large battery like on an Arbury 87 kilowatts,
yep.
And that's a usable size, then obviously, as you can imagine, 40 plus hours to charge a car. Now, a lot of people won't charge it when it's completely empty to completely full, but it's still a long time.
Yep.
But it's nice to have the 3-pin plug if you go to friends or family and you want to steal some of their electric, or you get into a situation where you really need to do that. If you've got to, say, a friend's house and your car's really low, it's nice to have that 3-pin plug that you can use.
Yeah.
But really, I mean, it was nicknamed the granny cable. It's really a very, very slow way of charging, and for today's modern cars, it's not the most ideal.
It's not the best. Not the best.
Most people at home will have a home charger,
okay.
And then obviously we've got rapid chargers. So let's go and have a look at a home charger.
Okay.
Okay, so home charger wise, there are various different companies out there. This one is PodPoint. They are one of the largest, and Nissan themselves, PodPoint and Eon, are the two that is recommended.
Okay.
Hence why it's in the showroom here. So all manufacturers have their own sort of different looking charge points, but they're all fundamentally a box on the wall, if you like. So with the PodPoint here, they've designed it so that if you want to have a cabled unit, so if you don't want to have to plug your cable in all the time, and you want one on there all the time to plug your car in, and then you don't have to worry about taking your cable out all the time, then you can actually wrap that around the units.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yep.
Now, this one is an untethered, so it means you've just got the charge point in there.
Okay.
And you can use your cable that comes with your vehicle to plug into this end and then plug into your car. And in the case of the Leaf here, we've got this one here, which is what they class as a Type 2 connection.
Okay.
And I would say the majority of all vehicles out there from 2016, 17 onwards would have had Type 2.
Right,
the original Leaf was what they called a Type 1, but Type 2 is now the standard, if you like. And all electric cars out there will have that, all new vehicles will have that connection.
So it's not like Apple and Android then, you don't need a specific charging point?
Not in this case.
Yeah, okay.
But there is a little bit of a twist to that, and that's when we come to rapid charging, which in the case of the Leaf uses this one here.
Okay.
But we can have a look at the charger outside and explain that. So from rapid charging, there is a bit of a difference, but for home charging, or if you're at a supermarket and they have chargers like this outside, then it's all using the same system, the same cable.
I see. And a question that has come up before that somebody has asked me is, does it just stop charging, or does the electric keep trying to flow in even though it's fully charged?
No, so it stops charging, basically. Now, with Leaf, with Aria, for example, if it's plugged in still, and you want to then preheat or pre-cool your car with the app from the car, then it can take electric then from the charge point, so that it's not using electric from the vehicle, so that when you pull away, you're nice and cool or you're nice and warm, and you've got your full charge to drive off in. But no, once it actually stops the charge, the car will report back, and it will just simply stop the electric. It won't keep flowing.
Preconditioning the car, that sounds pretty
Preconditioning
nice
the
for
car.
winter. That sounds nice.
Yeah. And actually, it's 28 degrees out there today, which is really surprising, but it's warm. So
There you go. We've got our late summer finally.
Yes, exactly.
Brill. So rapid chargers then.
Yes,
Can we take a look at one of those?
we can. Let's go outside.
Perfect. Let's do it.